Okay, this will just be a mash of my leftover clips from the weekend. So we're just looking at Adelaide switching the play here. Right, and what's interesting is, okay, so Adele takes the mark. Right, we all know how great of a long, accurate kick that she is. So she's really got a license just to go long every time she kicks, but that means that's not always the best option. So she looks, she doesn't find anything, okay? So she's mastering the game now. She's not playing with ego and trying to do the longest kick in the world everyone can see. She's playing with mastery, and that's go to the option that's going to allow us to get some dominoes effects. Alright, so that draws a player. We've seen this in other switch videos that I've done. Draws a player. Okay, keeping possession of the ball. Okay, this is where the dominoes come in. Alright, you got this one trying to peel off, so you could have gone that one, which is sort of really presenting itself if you just hold that ball and deceive that player to sag off. But she goes the longer option. It's okay. She takes the mark anyway. Right, now it's the 2-on-1. Now it's the dominoes. Right, now we can go into 50. Okay, we've gone all the way from one sort of mid-wing all the way to this position here. With what, 5 kicks? Okay. So now you got a good inside 50, right? Nothing came of this inside 50, but they just maintained the ball, took some time, made the Richmond run and defend and spread. Okay, and that's what you want to do with the ball. It's not just go forward and then hopefully you can go forward again, because often you can only go forward once and then it comes back. Okay, so a good patient switch from someone who had a license to go long. That's real excellent mastery seen right there. That's what we should all be striving for as players and teams. This is just looking at midfield to forward connection. Okay, you need connection from all players who are involved in the play. So Bulldogs get the ball. Okay, all right, they get this run through gap here, so that's on. Okay, so you give that handball. All right, now here's the connection bit. Now the connection is with this player, the ball carrier, and 1 player and 2 player. So connection means we need to know, in a situation with grass, are we taking the grass or are we kicking? Okay? If we're taking the grass, all right, these players keep going this way, because that's going to take that defender with them and take that defender with them. All right? But it's dependent on this player taking a bounce, and continue to take that grass until you force this player or this player to leave either of these players, and you've got 2-on-1. That's part 1 of connection. If we're not taking grass, all right, one of these players has to come back up and hit at the ball. Not both, just one. All right. Instead, we get no hit up, we get no grass, and then a 75% chance of scoring inside 50 is an intercept mark. Right, and that's what connection is about. What to each player know what they're going to do, and it's a team, like a game model or a game plan aspect to that. What's our plan going in? But I don't think there's a lot of forward craft in AFLW for a lot of teams. There's a lot of focus on contest and defence, and then it's sort of, with the semi-professional nature, it probably doesn't leave a lot of time for transition offence and then going inside 50 offence, and we see that all the time, where teams can possess the ball to near inside 50 and then the last kick's a shocker and then it's just coming back again. Okay, one of my favourites is just North Melbourne centre bounces. They're just things of beauty, especially when King's in there. Oh, look at that, it's just off, and it's straight inside 50. Go back to that, so what we see, North Melbourne player holding that Carlton player off, North Melbourne player holding that North Melbourne player off. So the space of the tap zone is this sort of area here, or sort of there. Garner going to come in, so she just drops it down behind her. Now this helps with North Melbourne because they've got such a dominant ruck, and even when Remy's in there, she's quite dominant as well with the taps. And they've got good midfielders. Okay, so we'll just see that. Okay, pushes her off. She can't get in. She's holding her out this way. Garner's going to push hers off and then come around that way. Alright, and then this Carlton player's been pushed that way. She can come off this way. Okay, Garner can take that and take the grass, or just handball off and kick inside 50 as what happened. Not a complicated setup, but one where every player is doing something in that contest that's helping that play work. So if you're just trying to work a tap play for ruck to one player and the other two players don't know what they're doing, or they're doing nothing, it's probably not going to work because the other two opposition players can get in the way. Okay, another North Melbourne one. Well, that's straight out. When you get inside 50s like this, like it's hard not to score heavily, and North Melbourne do it better than anyone. So what we get, we've got to push off again. Okay, so we're clearing sort of this side of the circle here. I'll take that one out. Alright, you're drawing 1 and 2, and then, look, that's the first part, and then it's up to these other two to play off that. Okay, and she does a great job. She sort of comes from back there and then through. Oh, that's the other player. My mistake. Alright, she just slips around behind her. Oh, that's straight out the front. And straight inside 50, putting in already high pressure team under more pressure in their back 50 when it comes in like that, and this is the easy shot at goal. Alright, so just looking at Carlton here. Okay, so they were dominated in this game. Okay, and that's fine because they're a building team, and North Melbourne are right at the top. They've had more continuity than almost any other team, as far as no one leaving and other players just seemingly joining in and not taking anything away from anything else they do already. So we saw last week when North Melbourne had run from behind wide options, and eventually it caused an outnumber. Looking at this Carlton player, here's probably might be a half-back flanker. Alright, and then here's the winger. So we're looking at Tia Charlton last week, and now she's the one calling in the middle. But this player, she doesn't go, which could have provided another outlet, draw her back over. That's a deep inside 50. That's where you've got to recognise these numbers. But if this player doesn't move, there's no outnumber there to be had, which she doesn't see. She just sort of hangs back. Whereas last week we saw North Melbourne, who were they playing? Can't remember. Opposition. We had North Melbourne coming behind the opposition way back here because this one took off from the square. So essentially we have this 1-on-2 where this player can keep going until this player turns back, like that Bulldogs connection clip. Okay, instead they've got a release from here instead of here or here with this player or that player. Okay, so we only get an inside 40. Alright, they do manage to get players back. Right, here they are here, those two on the outside. Right, North Melbourne sort of just happy to get a tackle there anyway. But Carlton could have got a real deep inside 50 if they get that double run from behind, causing this middle defender to go long and open up this space, or turn back, and it's an over the top to this one. Knowing what tempo you need to go at it's actually more vital in AFLW because you've only got 16 players. So trying to go quick when you don't have the players in position to do it don't work. I've highlighted in heaps of videos last year with the play on handballs, just turning and kicking to outnumbers. All right, we're seeing less of it this year. But here's an example of not identifying the tempo or who's got the ball and who you are. All right, so this is Dalton Morris. She's playing full forward. She's received the ball up here. So she's the deepest forward, essentially. And she's taking a mark here, then it has to be a slow play. Because there can't be anyone else behind her. And we know most teams will have someone back. Alright, so this player's fine, calling for the ball. But a better method is just to go out, just to create separation here, and get a kick and a mark. Okay, so now she's facing this way. She can see what's ahead, so she can stand. Then she can play on once she knows who's in position. Or she can go back, take the kick. She's just taking the handball without knowing what's behind her and not knowing that she's probably the only one forward of the ball. Gives that handball off. All right, you're now running forward for no reason. If you're just not going to kick that, then you need to get that mark so you have control. All right, and now it's just a real blunder now. Had an open inside 50, and now you don't even get it inside 50. So didn't matter in the end of the game. Collingwood won easily, but just recognising those outnumbers again in the tempo. Use the plays where you can use them and use them the right way.